My name's Stuart Church. I'm a user experience consultant based in Bristol. My company's called Usability. I tend to do a lot of work in HE and FE and have collaborations with the Institute for Learning and Research Technology at the University of Bristol.
Great. Stuart, what would you say is the role of a usability expert?
Do you mean in general or in specific JISC projects?
In general.
In general, well, I think in its purest form, it's a strategic role to guide and shape the direction of whatever it is you're building. To have a support an institution in building a vision for that thing that you're building, to make it the most desirable, the most useful, the most usable thing that you possibly can. At a more tactical level, it's about asking the right questions, designing the right or implementing the right methods as you go through in terms of user research to find out what your users want, to find out what the needs of the organization or the business are, and to provide, depending on how you fit into the actual project, to either produce designs or work with teams in-house to produce designs. So it's an incredibly flexible role. I think it's a good UX consultant will be one who would tailor their role to the needs of the project and add value in doing so.
And how do you typically work with projects?
Typically, because I have some collaborations with universities, I usually get brought in at the stage of writing bids, so I know what's happening, so I can have input there, and then that way I'm involved right from the start. I think the projects that tend to be least successful are those where I'm brought right in at the end, and it's a kind of a firefighting exercise. Yeah. When people realise they need some usability, or it's not worked out quite as well as as it might have done. So the more you can be strategic about it, have a view of you're designing something for somebody to use and make it more of a product, the better, I think. And that way the UX kind of permeates through all the different elements, and you can have a UX vision that brings your team together as you work on the project as well.
And how should a project, or how could a project approach you or any other usability expert?
Well, I think most people are more than happy just to chat. I think an informal chat to start with, to find out how people work. I think there's always an element of give and take, and certainly one of the biggest constraints can be the whole the tendering process, and whether you're involved at the start or afterwards. That has a massive difference on your potential role. So if you're involved in the tendering process, then you can have quite a lot of say about the UX in that circumstance. And if you come in afterwards, then you may be much more constrained by, much more tactical in the types of methods and approaches that you can implement. So the earlier the better, I think, for UX in general, because a lot depends on the culture of the organisation and how they see UX. Obviously, as a UX person, I'm biased in saying that it should be right up at the start, and that's the vision that drives everything. But obviously, that's not necessarily universally held.
So first port of call is pick up the phone or write an email and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people are more than happy to chat. So
great, Stuart Church. Thank you very much.